Good morning, we're live. All right, we're live this morning. Good morning to you guys. I don't know where you're at in the world, but we're back and active, man. I have some fun with these things, so let's get rocking and rolling. Today we're going to talk about this concept that I think is one of the most important concepts for us to learn in this life we live. So good morning, wherever you guys are at in the world. Those of you guys are tuned in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Periscope. Good morning, Instagram. How you guys doing? So today I'm going to talk about this concept called "What You Create Creates You." Boise, Idaho, Grant's Empire. Good morning. What's up, Chris? How you doing? No quit living. Jeff Lopes, what's up, brother? Today we're going to have this thought and this topic that I think will help a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of people. That's my plan. So here's this thing. I'm writing my book right now. Good morning, Angie and Bart. How you doing in the world? And as I'm writing this book, I get these cool ideas that come to my head. I should write more books. What's up, my dude? He says. And so here's this thought that it really is it's kind of the anchor point of a lot of the work I do. And when I say it's the anchor point of a lot of the work I do, it really is. It's this thought that if you grab this concept and you understand what's going on in the background, I promise it'll be a game changer for any next level of your life, no matter where you're at. I don't care if you're making $1,000, $1 million, it'll be a game changer to get this. And here is that concept. Good morning, LinkedIn user. Here's how it works. Grant says, how are you on live on multiple platforms? I'm all over the world, Grant's Empire. I am the man who is now all over the place. Good morning. No, you didn't miss me yesterday. I don't go on Tuesday, Thursday, unfortunately. Here's the thought. What you create creates you. I'm going to tell you this quick story about when I was in high school. I was a high school kid. I was 14 years old. When I was in foster care, I wasn't allowed to play football. I wasn't allowed to go out and do anything. And so what ended up happening was and I don't know why. I think we're back. Here we go. My bad, Instagram. So here's what took place. 14 years old, I'm rocking and rolling in my life, and what happens is I get adopted. For the first time, I know that the place I wake up on is the place I get to go to sleep tonight. I feel great about my life. I feel really good. Let's be honest. When you get adopted, man, it's a pretty cool feeling. And so I'm going through this life, and what happened is all through my years, I'd watch my buddies when I was in elementary school, middle school, that would show up on Fridays wearing their cool football jerseys. Like, these guys look good. They look great. They got these cool jerseys. And I'm like, well, I want to rock a jersey. Like, well, who doesn't want to rock a cool football jersey, man? It'd be great to be that guy, but I couldn't do it for all those years because my real mom wouldn't let me play, man. She would not let me play any kind of organized sports. So football comes into the actual fold for me for a little bit. So now I'm in this first opportunity to be able to go out and tackle somebody when I'm 14 years old. All my teammates have been playing for the last 6 to 8 years. They've been rocking and rolling. Some of them been balling, right? So I was at recess killing these kids. Well, I come out with a football helmet on and they're killing me. And so after the first year of football, I'm like, man, this thing I love to do, man, I suck at this. I don't want to feel this feeling. Like, I don't want to have to experience this pain. And so what I do is I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to play again. Well, the next year I go into freshman year of high school. I'm 15 years old. It's the first time, just so you guys know, I've been around people of like my culture. I grew up in an all-white family, so I didn't have many black people around me at that time. So like I felt kind of like I didn't know how to fit in. At the same time, my mom got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. My brother went to the military, so like I'm we're 6 kids. I'm like the second oldest, and now like it's just me hanging. And my siblings are cool, but like my brother was my rock, so I'm floating in a funky place. All my elementary school friends, we've been together since like 2nd grade. They're off at a different high school, man. I'm floating, man. I'm in this floating mode of what takes place is now all of a sudden I'm like, well, I got to find myself somewhere. I sucked at football, but still love this game. So what if I try to play it again? So my freshman year of football at Antioch High School, I go out again. First 3 games, I do okay, man. The last 7 games, I tank. Why? Because one guy, after I dropped 3 touchdowns in one game, says, man, Trucks, you got butterfingers. Like pretty much told me I sucked. And I was like, man, I do suck. And I bucketed down, man. I pretty much cashed it in, man. Packed it all up. Called it a day. And I was done with football. And there's this one girl who didn't even know that I was listening to her. She was in my Mr. Howe's English class, 15 years old, freshman high school English class, and I'm checked out. In my head, I'm this foster kid, man. My mom is sick. My brother's gone. I'm just kind of floating. My friends are gone. Like, what am I going to do? This foster kid isn't supposed to do nothing. And really, just so you guys know, I've said it before. Maybe it's the first time hearing it. If you look at any prison in America, 75% of the 75% of the inmates are former foster kids. Half our homeless population has spent time in foster care, and less than 1% of us ever graduated from college. So I'm not set up to do very well. And we all have things in our life that make it difficult for us to do well. Sometimes we come from families that aren't that good. Like my family was really poor growing up. We come from environments that aren't very stable or secure, so we're struggling a lot of the times. And I'm in this place, and this girl says this thing, and what she says is simple, but an amazing gift. And it says this simple thing to me. She says, well, not to me, to somebody else, and I overhear it. She says, well, the reason I'm so bad is because I'm in foster care. And it was a really simple statement, and it wasn't anything that was earth-shattering, but here's what it was, and here's what I want you to grab from this today. The statement was so simple, however, it was my excuse stated out loud. My excuse stated out loud, and I was like, man, that's a really interesting, like, man, it unsettled me. You know, it's this feeling of like, how in the world am I supposed to live my entire life off this crazy excuse that doesn't make any sense? And if you were to hear your excuses sometimes for why you don't do things, it might unsettle you too. Like, think about if you were to literally speak out loud what you keep telling yourself is the reason why you don't take a next step, right? It's kind of thing where like, it's off. So I decided I'm going to find a way to be great. I made a commitment that night, Anthony, you're going to be great. And that commitment back then has led me to now, right? But there's something that took place, very special, very unique from that moment forwards. And I want you to grab this today because this is the most important part of what I want to share with you. So I go and I decide I'm gonna be great, but I don't know what to be great. I don't feel great. I don't think I'm great. I don't even know if I have anything of capacity inside of me. Same thing you might experience at times. Think about it. When you want to do something great, do you fully believe in that moment you deserve it? Not usually. Like, do you fully believe you're capable of it? Not typically, right? So we're in these moments of like, man, I don't even know if I'm supposed to do well, if I should do well, but I want to do well, right? You want to have great, you want to have something amazing. So like I'm in this space where I'm like, damn, how do I get to the next stage? What's up, guy? I appreciate you, brother. How do I get to the next stage of my life? And I feel I was like, well, I got to do what those good players do. That was it. I got to do what those people do that at the level that I want to do things. And it's going to be hard. I know that, but I'm going to try to do it. So we all try that, right? We try to lose the weight, try to gain the insight for business. We try to step out and have conversations, learn some things, go to school. We try these things. We find along the journey that it's difficult though. Like it's incredibly hard, right? It's this thing where you're like, man, I would love to be able to have this, but it is difficult. And so what ends up happening is I go into the stage of trying to figure these things out. Good morning, the savvy nail chick, how you doing? And I'm going through these motions. What's the place? I end up going out and like I'm lifting the weights and I'm running the routes and I'm doing all the things and I got teammates, people bagging on me. Trucks, what are you doing out there, man? You suck. You can't catch a football. Why are you lifting weights? Like genuinely had teammates that were out there bagging on me. But I just stayed the course. And then I kept doing my thing and little by little I get a little bit stronger, man. I feel a little good. Like, and I'm still, but you know, I'm like $150 at the time. I'm a tiny little guy. I can suck my stomach in, put my fingers in my ribs. Like I'm a little itty bitty dude. And so I'm in this space where like, man, I don't know if I could do this. And I would keep getting up and I'm lifting the weights and I'm running the routes. Every day I caught a football laying on my back up in the air 500 times. If I didn't catch a 500, I didn't go to sleep that night. And here's what took place. I'm telling you, this is the thing you got to grab today. I showed up the next season an animal. Like I was different. I was a different dude. And here's the thing. It wasn't something where like, it was like, oh, he's a little bit fast, a little bit stronger. It was a different guy on the sideline, in the field. I was a different guy. And here's what it was. When that ball was in the air, you weren't taking it from me. When you're running at me, I'm tackling you. When I'm going at you, how dare you think you have the right to tackle me? This is my touchdown. Like, I'm getting this. You can't touch. You didn't do all that work. Man, I earned this in the dark. You can't take this from me. Like, this ain't your right. It's my right. I deserve to have this thing. And what I realized in that moment was I deserved something that I had earned and I wasn't going to let anybody take it from me. But I didn't get it because I didn't have that feeling of deservance because I just woke up one day with it. I didn't have that feeling of deservance because somebody handed it to me. I had that feeling because I did the work in the dark that nobody saw that allowed me to show up in the light and kill it. And take what I knew was mine. And I say this as an but I'm giving you this gift of understanding. That's how it has to be. Because here's what took place that no one saw, what we rarely comprehend is going on in the dark. The process of creation. Creation is a long journey. Creation is a different monster. And I want you to grasp this. When you think of creation, think of it like in a way of, it's a process over time. It doesn't happen immediately. When I want to make cookies, I got to do the process of creation. And for some reason, when I make cookies for myself, they taste so much better, right? If you think about when someone paints a painting, like they're not just people trying to paint. When you go and you got like Picasso and he makes this amazing painting, he's no longer trying to paint. He's a painter now. When you get a boxer who goes into the ring and learns how to how to be able to duck and weave and bob and weave and punch and jab and hook, all this stuff, he doesn't get in the ring later on and say, I'm trying to box still. He says, no, I'm a boxer. Like, this is who I am now. And what I was realizing at that moment in time was I had done the work. I was no longer a kid trying to play football. I was a football player. I earned this. I deserve this. And what happens is this statement that I started with, but I want you to anchor down to on a Friday, is good day. What you creates you. What you go through the process of creating, the energy, the time spent on creating, what you go into the world and spend time learning and knocking yourself down and getting yourself back up and taking the licks and taking the bad language and people making fun of you, but you still keep sticking to it. That's you creating your life. And when you create this thing, you don't just get to the back end and say, it's cool, I made that. Yeah, I feel it maybe, I don't know if it's me. No, you have made that, you earned that, that's who you are. But that's a feeling you have to earn in the dark, when no one's watching, when it's just you in your house and you got to write that book. When it's just you in your house, you got to get that workout. When it's just you in your house, you got to answer those emails. When it's you in your house, you got to create that thing. That's what takes place in the background. So when you come to the light, you won't let the world take it from you. A new switch comes in. There's not even a thinking of it. We don't even call it mindset. It's just who you are to do that. But you don't get that unless you earn that. And I can't give it to you. I can't even motivate you to get that. You got to motivate you. You got to know why you're doing it, what's coming in the pipeline, and lean into something that you honestly may not even trust. Because truthfully, when I started, I didn't know I'd be great. I had no idea. There was no guarantee I'd be great. And I can guarantee you, if you don't do that work, you won't be. But if you do, if you decide to create, you'll have a chance, a vastly better chance than you have if you don't do it. But when you're creating that thing and going through the process of just taking the licks and moving, it's not for nothing. I'm telling you, it's not for nothing. It's not just for you to get up one day and all of a sudden say, I got this. It's at the back end, you have that thing, but you are internally that person who has that thing. It's a different thing. It's a different feel, a different flow, I'm telling you. It's a different sense of self when you got that anchored in and locked down, because here's what takes place. Now, success becomes second nature. It becomes who you are to knock things out, to get a good flow, to just move and groove, and nobody knows why. But all of a sudden, this person wins. There are people who have a Midas touch, who everything you touch turns to gold. Why? Do they have better information? Do they have new insights? Do they have more money? No. It's such a rooted core sense of them that they are a winner, that they succeed, that no matter what opportunities or lack thereof they have, they find a way to make it happen. It's an identity to them. That's who they are. And I say it because this is me. Like, I'm a guy that will figure out how to make things work, and I don't need you to help me. I don't need you to guide me. It's part of who I am to solve problems. Because of that, I don't make many excuses. I'll find solutions before I find an excuse. And so if you can go into your life from today, and I'm talking right now in the next year, like we're leading into a cool new year, people. I say cool because it's going to be some awesome opportunities. And I don't know what's going to be different between December 31 and January 1. It's not some arbitrary, like, oh, the world switches over. But you know what I'm talking about. There's some things coming out of the pipeline that are going to be great and prime for you to take advantage of. But not if you haven't done the work in the dark. Not if you didn't show up every single day and do the things nobody saw. So when you show up in the light, no one can take it from you. So I give you this gift on a Friday. Because this is where my heart's at, and I'm writing this book, and I'm just excited to give you some heart and some love today. I want you to think about what you will create come this new year that will create the you inside. When I was making that 15-year-old player, like, I was lifting weights and running routes, but it wasn't about who I was creating physically. It was who I was creating inside through every single, arduous single rep. I just had to choke. It was super weird. But every single arduous rep that's difficult and crazy, all those things, man, that's what came to be. That's what created this guy. And it wasn't on accident, and it never will be on accident. And I don't want it to be on accident, man. I want you guys to get this and rock and roll with it. So that's my thoughts. I drank too much green tea because I'm all like lubricated in my mouth this morning. So let's get to work, folks. That's my thoughts for you today. People who are in Instagram, I'm gonna give you a link. And here's the thing: the reason I even want to share is because I wrote about this in my book. So if you guys have got a moment in time, go to identityshiftbook.com. Those of you guys who are on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Periscope, go to identityshiftbook.com, grab a copy of your book. It's a pre-order right now. Book comes out May 18th, but if you go there now, you can get an early copy of the book. You can also get some cool things that kind of come along with the book and some bonuses. I have some master classes, some live coaching I'm doing in there. But man, this is stuff that the world needs to hear. This is my creation. I'm creating this in the world through my work right now. So when it comes to the light, you get to see this book, man, it'll be a game changer for you. It's a different look at how the entire world that I've seen is operating, from my NFL days to my personal development days, to my marriage, all this stuff. Everything ties together. And when you understand how to make these things tick, man, it will turn into fire for your life, like fire amazingness. So this is my love for you. This is my heart. And I hope you take this message today on Friday and rock and roll with it. That's it. God bless you, and I'll see you all on Monday. Same time, same place. See you guys.